Hello everyone, I'm the Archdon and I'm an indie game developer. And I started this channel to show you this video game I've been developing. This video game is going to target towards VR, and I don't have much interest in releasing it on non-VR, as it may not be the experience in which I am seeking. But the game is in early development, so anything can change. I have the Oculus Rift, and I will be receiving the Catwalk C here pretty soon. So of course, I'll make sure that they're 100% compatible. And as soon as I open a fundraiser for this project, if a project gains enough popularity through that fundraiser, I can afford to buy other systems like the Oculus Quest, the Vive, Windows Mixed Reality, and maybe some haptic suits so they can test them and make sure that they work on these platforms. I feel like it would be a good way to pre-sell the project as well for potentially half or more of its price to support those early investors types, I suppose. The game is going to be a horror game, my favorite personal genre, and a lot of others as well. But not the cheap jump scares and suspenseful music that you get from Hollywood flicks nowadays. No, no, no. What my intention is a creepy, dark, sinister environment, but not a place that's completely new. The scene will be the types of places people are familiar with, but it twisted in this dark format. Think of you're walking through a neighborhood and how it completely differs from day to night, but still oddly familiar. But the mood would be tense and suspenseful, with a player not knowing what is behind every door, if they have enough time to go to the other side of a map or go more exploring, or if they saw something over there before. So they know that something may be prowling around, but also know they might need to go through that area. The type of a game is going to be a dungeon crawler as well. And what I mean by that is you'll be going through a set number of paths, and if your key objective is to find the exit. Think of it like traversing a large building, trying to find your way out. The paths differ in difficulty, combine and merge, and have different treasures and loot if you look hard enough. But they are not going to be the same every time you play. Maps are going to be procedurally generated so that the exit, loot, and hostiles will create a completely new experience every time you play. The map will also be dynamic, so that as you play the game, the map will go on changes, so the path that you may have taken may become blocked off, forcing you to find a new way to traverse, making you encounter the other foes in the map that you've been avoiding, and making the game harder the longer you play. All of these aspects together would make it a VR horror dungeon crawler, and I intend to live up to that title. The audience in which I wish to cater to is of course everyone, but however, the clicks I see being attached to this game may vary. It's not going to be an easy game, no, and should require multiple playthroughs to actually complete the game. So although I do expect the casual player to enjoy this game, I believe a more dedicated player base may find it funner to put more hours into. And of course, horror lovers will be intrigued by this title. I have all of their thoughts in mind, because those thoughts are my own as well. I wish to make this game as enjoyable as a horror game as I can make it. That is the biggest influence of this game, of course. And the horror lovers like it, even if they don't have to put money on it. I would still count it as success. One final group I wish to advertise to, however, is someone who likes to show off for VR games. The games are not going to last long if you play it until someone dies, of course, and passing it around with your friends, laugh at their display of fear, I feel like it's a perfect way to experience it. And is a popular way that I show off the systems I have for it, the randomization. It would be a lot of fun to share the experience, and I would be honored for this game to be created and catered to at small parties and such. In that aspect, of course. My interactions within the game will be as immersive as possible and easy for a completely new VR player or someone completely new to video games in general to understand. I wish the controls to feel the same as if you were attempting to do it in real life. So I'm going to make the button pressing to a very low minimum. So the controls you'll be using will be the grips, the triggers, and the analogs. I plan on having menus to be extremely uncommon, and if you have to do something without a menu, I will. I feel as though if a VR game has too much UI, it loses all of its immersion. But I have tons of ways and tons of clever workarounds I can perform. I want the gameplay to be tactical and skill-based. I want the first time you pick up the game to be full of terror and mystery of what could be hiding out there in the dark. But never do I want to lose that feeling, so there always be lots of rare interactions and changing environments, as well as game stages as you play to prevent someone from becoming too comfortable. But eventually, I want the players to start to understand the mechanics, like how some enemies react, where some loot tends to spawn, and how the paths tend to develop. I want the players to become tacticians within this playing field so that every time they play, they learn a little bit more and progress through a game stage more easily, only to be flipped on its head later on. And an example of what I mean is if you figured out the path and behaviors of this enemy in the first part of a game and become comfortable around it, then later on there may be some rare incident in which this enemy does something completely different from what you expected, as if it learned how you previously avoided it and outsmarts the player, leading to this player resolving that conflict with a sense of, I thought I knew that this enemy is, do I truly know what they're fully capable of? So that they would continue to be cautious throughout the entire experience. In my next video, I will start explaining the scenery, how the game takes advantage of different gameplay elements, some of the types of creatures you can expect, and what kind of challenges you will face, and what kind of objectives a player may have. If you like this project I am working on, please show me your support by liking and sharing. I have links below to the community page where you can input your ideas and help the game improve throughout development. And I would also like to know what everyone is feeling. If you feel like there is a way to improve the game, leave it in the comment below. I am grateful you took time out of your life to watch my video, and I hope you have a good day.